There's Cooper. There's Butcher, he scored!
So, gentlemen, could I just say to you, welcome our new player manager, Graham Souness.
The 8th of April 1986, and even experienced newsmen still find it hard to believe that the man with the Italian tan, the Rangers blazer, and eventually borrowed boots is now back in Glasgow. There are other routes Graham Souness could have followed, but he found this one irresistible.
Well, I'd never played in Scotland. I'd played all my career outside of Scotland. I got the opportunity not just to play here, but to play and manage one of the biggest clubs in Europe. I could have stayed in Italy and played a few years more. I certainly had a contract for one more year. My intention was to stay and play on the continent, whether it be in Italy or somewhere else. But when this opportunity arose, I spoke to my wife and my family. Obviously, there were certain apprehensions. At the end of the day, my wife left it to me, and there was only one answer. I had to take it. I mean, it's a job everybody in Scotland would have. Everybody.
He chose no soft option, for this trophy room had not been adorned by the championship trophy in 9 years, and after a disastrous start with a defeat against Hibs and his own sending off, there was no time for moping a week later.
Outswinger. There's McCoist. 26 minutes gone, Rangers go ahead, and Ibrox comes alive. Souness through the middle is McCoist, he's onside, a great chance for Rangers. Brilliantly taken.
A dance in the sun that froze in its tracks as United struck back to win 3-2, and the player manager, even with 40,000 behind him, learned that pressure on Rangers was very special indeed.
I experienced the same thing with Liverpool. And for years and years, we were the best team down there, and we were everybody's cup final. And then when I went to Italy, being a foreigner there, I experienced a bit of it there as well. But, and I knew we'd get some of it here. But here it's far more intense.
History doesn't tell a different story, for the club has always challenged for supremacy and been expected to succeed. In the past, very often it did. But with every success came more demands to match or exceed it. To belong to the tradition of the managerial chair was to know how to rise above the unique pressures of the job, as some outstandingly did. But it was clear that in coming face to face with Celtic at the end of August, that Graham Souness was stamping his own style and attitudes on the club in a determined way.
When you play Celtic, it's 2 points. When you play Hamilton, when we played Hamilton, it's 2 points. At the end of the day, I'll upset a lot of people here, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind losing 4 times to Celtic next year if we won the league.
Here's Nicol. Ted McMinn. Here's Nicol. That'll be a corner kick. And from Fraser, and it's just over. And from time to time, you have one set of supporters roused, then the other. Paul McStay. McLeod. Still in play, thought the whistle might have gone. Durant's lost his boot as McMinn goes forward again. Here's McMinn, can he get his shot? And he does! It's still nothing each. Anything can turn an old firm game. The likes of Paul McStay there, that was a very loose pass though. Fraser round the side to Cooper. And it's swept, not hard enough. Fraser with a chance, he scored, and it must be no. How that stayed out, I will never know. Quite incredible misses. Fraser can hit them. So can Cooper. Fraser with the shot, and it's almost there. Goes for a penalty. And nothing's been given. It's a corner kick. Well, Pat Bonner, a nervy sort of save from this free kick. It went right through, there he gets down on it. It's a test for the goalkeeper, and it seemed to be just eluding him. And there was no penalty kick. Cooper. Here's Durant with a chance, and he's done it. A brilliant goal by Durant. Superbly struck, brilliantly laid on by Davy Cooper. And if ever a team deserved a lead, it's Rangers. Only for a short period of Celtic got into the game. Look at that beautifully laid off ball. Durant, icily cool. The way he executed the finish. Rangers are in the lead, and about 16 minutes of the game left. The youngster took his time about it, didn't panic.
A victory that came at a time when most people had written Rangers off. All accomplished in an atmosphere familiar to most, but certainly not to the man from East Anglia, and who answers to the name of Big Tell.
2 weeks before the game, the players and the fans have been telling me what it's like, and to win the game is, you know, is a fantastic atmosphere, and to go out there and play against Celtic is a great honour in itself. But luckily enough, the manager took us away to the hotel before the game, so the squad was together. I think that helped a lot. It was just like being part of a cup final or being part of a set-up down south.
I'd played against Terry many times. You look at him, he's got the physical presence. You say, well, he must be good in there, which he's excellent in there. He's also willing to put his head there. Have a look at his forehead, you see the cuts on it. He's willing to put his head where a lot of people wouldn't. But also, something I didn't realise, I know he was a useful player, but he's a far better player than I give him credit for before he came here.
There's McMinn. Still Ted McMinn. There's Souness. It's over the line. The goal's been given. A superb goal from Graham Souness. There's Weir flighting it across. Too high for Dodds. Cooper's missed kick, but McCoist has it for Rangers. Here's Fleck on his right. Fleck is onside, the chance to clinch it for Rangers. McCoist makes it 2.
But it stood and Rangers faced up to a jinx ground, Tynecastle.
Things weren't going that well in the league. We were dropping points and seemed to fall behind Dundee United and Celtic. So I think we were like 4th or 5th place at the time, and it was crucial for us to get a result at Tynecastle, and we just had to roll our sleeves up and get out there. We had a massive support that day. It was a nice sunny day, and we were obviously very pleased to see David Cooper on one of his marvellous solo goals, or a marvellous solo run. And after we scored the goal, there was no way that we were going to actually lose the game.
And they didn't. And this kept Rangers in touch in the league, and the other Edinburgh team, Hibernian, had to come to Ibrox next, with more and more people coming through the turnstiles.
Cooper in the shade. What's it? Fleck. Oh, McPherson. Thinking very carefully, Butcher, every time. where he wants to place it. Cooper. McCoist driving in, wants to lay it back. It must be yes. Robert Flack. Now Dougie Bell. McCoist, he's onside. There's the cross, and the Flack in with it. Durant.
But Rangers were also heading for the first final of the season. They swamped Dundee United in the semi and headed for Hampden in October for the Skol Cup final, headed by a manager with a calf injury and a severe bout of frustration.
I was sitting upstairs. You know, Walter was on the line, I was upstairs. I prefer to watch the games from up there. I can remember after I'd say all the best in the dressing room, coming up the stairs, and it just kicked off. I was late in getting up there. I actually paused for a moment to go through the doors. And I didn't want to go through them doors. I wanted to go back on the line because it's so hard watching the game. There was pressure in that one.
We all knew that the manager wasn't fit anyway. I think we knew that on the Friday, if not on the Saturday. So it wasn't announced publicly, but all the lads knew, and so therefore our minds were fully prepared for the fact that he wasn't playing.
With the player-manager exiled to the stand and others struggling to make full fitness, many people might not have given Rangers a chance, except they could recall the upset of form in their previous encounter with Celtic. Rangers, in truth, emerged only occasionally from the shell in the first half.
And there's Jimmy Nicholl. He's been one of Rangers' best players in the last month. McCoist, free kick. Oh, Fraser with a long one and it's a post.
It was in the second half that the game took on a different complexion.
Cooper brought down, free kick. And Cammy Fraser is there, Butcher's there, Durant is there and scores. Durant has scored for Rangers. 1-0 with exactly 17 minutes gone. Well, the very boy we were just talking about there takes his chance. Only a half chance, touched by Terry Butcher, went to the outside and the near side of the goalkeeper. Bit of discussing going on. There's a chip forward and it's off the bar. And it's a brilliant save by the Rangers goalkeeper. Superb save. Edison, a brilliant equaliser. On to McMinn. Durant. That's a crossover. And I think the goalkeeper... No. Just for a moment I thought Celtic were getting a free kick out of that. Ferguson. To Cooper. Free kick.
We definitely lack in the game enough players to take the ball to opposing defenders.
Goes for a penalty kick there. It's a given. It's a penalty to Rangers. And there's going to be bother for a Celtic player. I don't know which one it is. There it is again. A vital moment in this game. I make it 5.5 minutes remaining of the Skol Cup final. 2-1. Done with the greatest simplicity. And there goes the final whistle. Rangers have won the Skol League Cup final. Rangers supporters erupt. And there is Terry Butcher, the first Englishman to hold that League Cup trophy aloft. And he'll do it right now.
This triumph gave singular pleasure to the man whose office backs onto the stadium he helped create. David Holmes, chairman and chief executive at Ibrox, is a builder by instinct and inclination. He loves the world of bricks and mortar, which isn't so surprising of a man spotted by John Lawrence as a likely lad, and like the founder of the firm, has successfully straddled the two worlds of business and football.
When I'm sitting in the director's box, there's new things happen to me. I used to watch football and enjoy the sport, enjoy the game, and have the ups and downs with the crowd, but in the last year I've learned all about new things, new dimensions, white knuckles, funny feelings in the tummy, looking for my watch to see if it's getting anywhere near time up. So in the director's box, it's a new experience.
But in trying to fill seats at the stadium, he's had to learn how to take it on the chin, like the events of the first week.
People thought I was just starting, but I'd been at this for some 12 months before that. And you know, in 37 minutes I watched the 12 months work gone out the door. But I came to terms with it over that weekend. You know, Betty and I went home and we shut the door and we didn't go out. I didn't come anywhere near anyone until the Monday when I came back in here. But by that time, I had actually come to terms with what had happened, and I had accepted all the criticism in the paper and on the media. And I was resolved to start again, as from that particular day. And the first thing I did was call a meeting with all the lads, and I put it to them where I stood and where they stood, and what I expected, as from now.
To say he put his neck on the line would be an understatement. I mean, I was 33 years old when I was offered the job, with zero experience as far as management. I played at the top level for a long time. He gave me the chance, gave me the opportunity to be manager of, in my opinion, the biggest club in Great Britain. It must have been, I don't care what he says, it must have been a worry to him. And since I've taken the job, okay, we've had arguments, minor arguments. Don't ever have an argument with him, because you always lose.
When Hearts came to Ibrox at the end of November, Rangers had twice been beaten in the league that month, and they were determined not to let it happen again.
It's McCoist!
Although far from the smooth article he desired, the Rangers players were on occasions like these beginning to respond to the kind of patient style desired by the manager. His promptings both on and off the field were beginning to have the desired effect.
And Cooper has done it for Rangers!
And all of this was being lapped up by astonishingly high crowds. On this wintry afternoon, 38,733 turned up to savour the 3-0 victory against Hearts.
Durant!
A very healthy response indeed for a team in fourth place and 9 points behind the leaders. But that league position began to worry management.
We had a chat about it, and Graham and Walter went and got Graham Roberts. And Graham came up and I met him on the Sunday, and we had a long chat, and if I'd had any doubts, which I didn't, they would have been dispelled right there now, because I felt that I was talking to another real professional. And he came up and he ran onto the park against Dundee United. And I've got to say to you, right there and then, even before we started playing that game, I was just looking at the crowd, listening to the crowd, and that's one of the privileged positions you can have.
It was a special day for me because coming up here I'd had a lot of press, and it was going on and on that whether I was going to join Rangers, and they signed me, and then from that Sunday to the next Saturday it was a long, long time, and I was just pleased to get it over with, you know, and to be a part of the goal, and then the crowd just took to me really, and I was pleased about that because it could always go wrong on the day, you know. If we'd have got beat, they'd have said, oh, maybe it's a waste of money, but everything went fine, and we just carried it on from there really. For a player like myself, I can only play one way. I can only go out and play 100% and, you know, play my own way. If Glenn Oddle would have come up or somebody like that, I think they might have had a little bit longer to settle in. And that's why I was very lucky, actually, the way I play. I came up to watch the Skull Cup final, and the atmosphere that day really, really was fantastic. It was probably the best day I've ever experienced in my life. And to play in it on New Year's Day was, you know, just as good, really, because especially to beat them.
Kenny Holt, at least he's used to this atmosphere. It's his 5th Old Firm match, and he laps it up. And off we go, and the conditions really are quite appalling. Nevertheless, Ibrox Stadium looks very spectacular, even with this snowy atmosphere now. And having said all that about conditions, normally when the pitch is holding like this, we get very exciting Old Firm games, and this looks like an exciting start by Celtic. Souness stabbing it through, and Fleck a chance for Rangers. Souness with the shot. There was a deflection. That's it in. It's there. Flack has scored for Rangers. Well, you know, the man I think Rangers should give credit to for that, of course, is the captain, Terry Butcher, with that near post back header. It always looked as if it might be put in, and Fleck made absolutely sure. William playing some superb football, engineered mainly by the man spraying out that pass at the moment, Souness. Now Cooper. Ooh, it's there! Number 2, Ali McCoist. Difficult enough on a day like today, but he should have got it, and there was McCoist to make it number 2.
It was the manager's day, though. He took over. He made his own time and space with apparent ease, and afterwards, folk were beginning to say that visions of Jim Baxter at his best were being seen all over again. But Souness is no Baxter. He is simply himself. And when he is himself at his best, you're watching as Jock Stein always insisted, a world-class player.
With a performance of magnificent style by Graham Souness in particular. This is the kind of midfield play that he has brought to many a club. And not only that, he now leads his team to what is going to be a very exciting championship race.
On the 10th of January, Rangers were poised for the breakthrough, but it didn't actually come until a week later when over 43,000 turned up in anticipation of the club going to the top of the Premier Division at this stage of the season for the first time in 9 years.
There's Jimmy Nicholl. Nicholl again to Ferguson. Fleck touching it on, there's Durant. The breakthrough at last for Rangers. So Cooper waiting for Butcher to arrive for the free kick. And Fulton in a very difficult task. McKellar also in trouble. The ball is in the net, and it's Ali McCoist to put it there.
And so began the great ticket chase. Ibrox was besieged. The stadium was now functioning to weekly capacity.
I was privileged to be in the early discussions when they were looking at it. And it was felt that what we would do with this stadium was that we'd pay attention to the supporters first, make sure that they were safe, they were comfortable, and they were going to be surrounded by something that was matching their support of the club. And once we'd got that put in position, that would then turn our attention to the main topic, and that's the team. And I think, looking back, that's what we did. And people keep on saying there should be a plaque in memory of the people that were killed that day. That stadium's the plaque.
And the plaque begins here. This face of Ibrox has altered little over the years, But beyond the wood panelling and the marble staircase lies another layer of service to supporters in keeping with the image of observing the changing times. Football clubs must exist by exploiting a variety of ideas for a public with a variety of tastes. The Ibrox executive and sponsor areas would do justice to a five-star hotel. And perhaps the phrase cordon bleu has never been more appropriate. Those of us brought up in the beloved tradition of a pie and bovril might find all this rather strange in a football stadium, but entertaining is now a valued business practice. And Rangers, in common with other major clubs around the world, can cater now for the most sophisticated requests. These congenial surroundings are also providing another source of revenue for a club which, if it wants the best in the park, must keep all avenues of funding open to itself. Meanwhile, out in the park in January, Rangers tripped, and the sound was heard worldwide.
The only one downside was when we lost in the cup here, for me. I mean, I was low after that, really low. I found that that was the worst experience in my footballing career. I found that so hard to accept. I'd been knocked out of the FA Cup in England by Brighton twice, who were in second division once, in the first division, now the bottom of the first division at the time. That was very hard to accept. But with being manager and playing on the day, I felt even more responsible. But I think that was a turning point in our season. I think the following week we went to Hearts and broke their 18-month unbeaten record.
Christ had gone to the right. Souness to Cooper. Stuart Monroe, good play from Monroe. Promising for Rangers, here's Fleck. A magnificent goal from Robert Fleck. Souness and Cooper waiting. Deflected, and the goal for Graham Souness. To Rangers. There's the Cooper. Smith's in trouble. Fleck. Yes! 3-1 to Rangers. Opportunism at its very best from Robert Fleck. 14th minute of the second half. And Robert Fleck gets his second of the match. Well, that's a magnificent pass to the far side to Davy Cooper. A great chance now for Rangers. Cooper going all the way himself. The cover was there from Jimmy Sanderson. There's Durant. That's towards McCoist. And it's come off Kenny Black. Well, it certainly is not Hearts' afternoon. Midway through the second half, the fourth goal for Rangers. Cowie's header, picked up by Souness. McCoist cutting off the road to Henry Smith. And there's McCoist setting it up. And how did Davy Cooper miss? Towards Fleck, he's up with Kidd. Cooper nodding it down. Sanderson touching it away. The chance now for McCoist. Brilliantly taken. And that was the goal McCoist wanted so badly.
Dave McPherson scored some valuable goals, like this one at Tannadice. But perhaps his most dramatic one came against Hibs in February, who looked as if they might steal a point through an apparently unbeatable Alan Rough.
Slow in parting with that. Give it again. There's Monroe. Here's Durant. There's a shot. Brilliantly held. Oh, that was very good goalkeeping indeed. But give it in, and that's right on the line. In fact, it almost knocked Alan Rough over the line, but he kept his head. Nicol. Here's Cooper. Beautiful run by Cooper. McCoist with a chance, and he can't put it away. Souness. Slight suspicion of handball there, but Davy Cooper. Oh, brilliantly saved by Rough. Superb afternoon he's having. 12 minutes of the second half gone. Free kick to Rangers. And it goes, and that's a brilliant save again. Oh, that must be one of the saves of the season. Cooper. That's a better one, and that's it. McPherson.
More significantly, Rangers had now moved to the top of the league on goal difference, but with a game in hand and with the best defensive record in British football, they were never to look back.
I felt if we're going to do anything, we ought to get right at the back. I go back and people say all good teams are based on the defence. I can go back. My thinking is, I remember playing for Liverpool against Nottingham Forest when Nottingham Forest were winning European Cups. Now, we used to play Nottingham Forest off the pitch. Really, we were playing their half. What was lost to them? Because I had Peter Shilton, Kenny Burns was in the team at the time, Larry Lloyd was in the team at the time. The defence was excellent. The rest of the team was only moderate. And I felt if we could get a good defence, we'd have a chance this year, or last year. And as it turned out, players responded at this club better than I thought they would.
We are paid to do a job at the back, and you know, we've done quite well this season. We've still got a little bit more to learn. I think with Chris behind us, you know, I've played in front of a lot of goalkeepers like Peter Shilton, Ray Clements, and Chris is as good as all of them.
Any good goalkeeper has to have concentration. A goalkeeper, if he's being bombarded, is doing things by reaction. I think a goalkeeper, when he's not under pressure, when he's called in to make saves 3 or 4 times a game, it's more difficult. I think it must be more difficult. Obviously, we're not being a goalkeeper, but I think it's a very difficult part of the game. Chris Woods has got tremendous concentration. He's a tremendous athlete. I've never seen a goalkeeper work as hard as he does. Obviously, this is a thing he's been put through with Peter Shilton on the England trips.
If Ally McCoist had a noticeable philosophy in life, it would seem to be keep smiling. Despite some criticism, he had cause to smile as he neared a club goal-scoring record.
It's there. Number 2, Ally McCoist.
It's never easy scoring goals, and I think defences are always, you know, they're getting tighter with the season, but it's my job to score goals, and if I keep getting the service and help from the rest of the lads, then I'll be disappointed if I don't do it. I don't show how I feel at times. I think pressure, it's more inside me than I let people think. But I've got lots of ways of, you know, relaxing. I like to relax, listen to music, play golf and all that. All these things are getting me away from pressure. The criticism definitely does hurt you, no matter, you know, who it comes from. But it's just a matter of not showing it. If it's constructive criticism, you'll always take it and be thankful for it. But it's just a matter of taking the good criticism and working on it.
Rangers going forward. Durant to Flick. Good turn with the striker. There's the chance. McCoist.
I think possibly one of the most important goals of the season for me was the one against Motherwell. And the irony of it is it never even hit the back of the net.
16 minutes gone, and would you believe there are people still coming into this ground? McPherson turned very well on it. Can't get the chip across. There's Durant. Butcher has come forward for Rangers. There he is. Delicate touch in. Ally McCoist with the chance!
And in the second half, it occurred to the assembled throngs that Rangers might just drop a point and blow it all. It looked and sounded a nerve-wracked Ibrox.
Monroe to Durant. Here's Ferguson. Fleck. Ferguson with a shot, brilliantly saved.
But under 5 minutes left and hope running out for Rangers.
Obviously suffered a bit of frustration in the second half and still pressing on. Durant. Butcher with it. And Butcher, he's done it now. There, Ally McCoist. The final touch.
Big Butch hit a shot, was up for a corner, hit a shot, came off. I think it was Fraser Wishart on the line, and I just sort of knocked it, half hit it, and it went through somebody's legs, and the goalkeeper missed it, and I think it just went about a couple of feet over the line, but it was enough.
But was all the pressure getting through to the players?
It came mostly from the fans. You could sense that they were tense, and especially at the home games. They're very nervous, and there was not so much singing as there normally is, and obviously the big cheer when we went out there and cheer when we got a corner or a free kick or whatever. But there seemed to be tension, and it seemed to, the players seemed to feel it especially. But that's something that you must live with, and I think it was new for the players at Ibrox, especially for us coming up, and especially for the players that have been there a few years, because that kind of pressure hasn't been around Ibrox for a few years. So it was nice in a way, but it was nice to get the goals at the times that we did, especially towards the latter quarter of the season.
The third last game of the season, and the captain, as usual, in the thick of it against Hart.
Souness with the pass, here's McCoist trying to turn away from Roddy McDonald. Still McCoist. That's deflected. And just wide of the target. McCoist certainly looks in lively mood this afternoon. There's a chance for Roberts. And McCoist turns it in. Rangers are in the lead. 10 minutes into the match. And the celebrations begin around the stadium. The goal which these Rangers fans are looking for, Ali McCoist, overjoyed, his 35th of the season, and significantly his 31st league goal, breaking a record which has stood for more than 20 years from Jim Forrest.
Danny Mackay was back helping in defence. It'll be Ian Durant himself will take the corner kick. Butcher waits. Up goes Butcher, off the post. It's McCoist. McCoist does it again. 3 minutes into the second half. And bedlam breaks out again around the stadium. McCoist's second of the afternoon. Well, that tells you how warm it is. Fleck back towards McCoist. Challenging Kenny Black. Appeared to strike the right hand of Kenny Black. And a penalty kick has been given, yes. McCoist against Smith. Off the stanchion, back out of goal, a hat-trick for Ali McCoist. 16 minutes into the second half. What a joy day for Ali McCoist.
The headline screamed the inevitability of a championship victory, and so it seemed on the basis of that last performance. But leaving these aside, when you looked at the league table, it was clear that one slip and Rangers could come unstuck. Celtic at home to Falkirk, Rangers set off for Pittodrie.
I've been in this situation before with Tottenham, where we had 9 games left and we had 6 at home, and we ended up losing the league by about 7 points. We never won a game at home. So I don't mind pressure. I like pressure. I'd rather have pressure than, if you're having pressure, you know you're doing well. You've got trophies at the end of it if you win all your games. So really, pressure doesn't get to me that much. But there was a little bit of pressure on the lads, yes, I would say so, because the supporters, they want success, and they were starting to get a bit edgy, and the lads were, you know, some of the young lads anyway were starting to get a bit itchy feet.
Up at Pittodrie, I think we had a feeling, you know, we were going to get something there. We knew within ourselves that we could do it, and the scenes up that day got to be the greatest day of my life, football life.
Rangers coming onto the field to the most ecstatic welcome from the biggest Rangers support I've ever seen at Pittodrie, and quite astonishingly, from the traditional Rangers end, the beach end at Pittodrie, all the way down to the other end, we have Rangers supporters. And there is that Rangers supporter I was talking about down at the other end. Heaven only knows how they got tickets, but when you're only 2 games away from the championship, you suddenly become ingenious at acquisition. And like any game which might settle the championship, it's more akin to the atmosphere of a cup final. Rangers will be playing against what is a very strong wind. Souness with it. There's Grant in there. Durant. John Hewitt on the far side. Edmund has had it beautifully saved. Cooper. Free kick. Exactly 5 minutes remaining of the first half. Well, we all expected something rather special today, but not quite what is worked out. There's Cooper. There's Butcher, and he scored! Butcher has scored for Rangers. The Rangers captain thunders in the first goal of the match. Rangers, reduced to 10 men, are in the lead. A quite magnificent header by the Englishman. Look at this, thundered in, giving Jim Leighton no chance. There must have been an abject misery 10 minutes ago when the player manager was sent off and outcenting the championship. The rejoicing has started. I would suggest to them a bit prematurely. That ball as McKinney goes in and Aberdeen get the free kick. That was a very good ball by McLeish. Oh, it's beyond everybody and it's in. Edwin has got the equaliser. One each. The big central defender playing in midfield today comes in 2 minutes into injury time and pulls it back. The dramatics are not ended yet, with the second half to come. So, free kick to Rangers. There they are, all into that again. The big men were up, and that is bothering the Aberdeen defence, and that is, of course, is why Irvine is in there. On the counter-attack. Oh, that's a very good shot by McLeish. And well taken by the goalkeeper again. And we have heard that Falkirk have beaten Celtic 2-1 as West goes in for this. There's Durant. Willie Miller. And I think that will be, and there it is, the final whistle. Rangers have won the league and on come the supporters. The supporters have broken ranks, and there is a danger of the Rangers players being swamped.
Ecstatic, yes, but very good-natured. Some had even come to stand outside and only saw the last few minutes. But it was understandable they wished to let the rest of the world know their feelings. After all, for all of them, it had been a very long wait indeed.
The league championship is Rangers for the first time in 9 years, in one of the most dramatic games I've seen at Pittodrie. Rangers 10 men against Aberdeen's 11, and the scenes are enormous. And now a full 25 minutes after the final whistle. The undisguised joy of the Rangers players and their supporters. And there is Souness with his assistant manager Walter Smith. There's Roberts. The end of a dramatic and arduous season. Delighted men, an astonishing transformation in this club.
It was unbelievable. Ex-certificate stuff. The lads had a great journey down. I think it was, a couple of the boys were saying before the game, it would have been nice to win it at Ibrox. But then after the match, I mean, you couldn't have planned a better celebration journey home, and it was great. 3 hours journey back wasn't long enough. We were wanting to drive around the city centre for a couple of hours again. It was great. Yeah. It really was.
They went back, the players came on, the police were absolutely magnificent. They allowed all the spectators that had travelled up without tickets into the ground to see the team. And the feeling that we had, Betty and I, going down from Aberdeen to St Andrews that night, that'll never be matched again in football.
The last day in the best sense turned out to be a picnic. It was the supporters' day.
Just some of the many youngsters who now pour into Ibrox. I'm told there's something like 8,000 youngsters in the Rangers Young Club. And Terry Butcher right in the middle of that picture. And that is an epitome of what he's been all season, directing everybody and influence both on and off the park. Meanwhile, the Scottish Cup finalists kick off this game, starting off with a man who scored a goal in the last time he played at Hampden Park, Frank McGarvey. McDowell. Cooper, neat little touch around his side. Well, there's a run forward by Fleck. He's making the shot, he scored! 1-0. It's gone, and the Premier Division champions are in the lead. Tony Fitzpatrick. Much better performance by St Mirren in the second half. There's Billy Abercrombie. That should be the goalkeeper's in it. Oh, yeah, getting very casual, and he gets down to it again. They do not want them on the pitch, and indeed they said that if there is an invasion, there will be no presentation. It's quite remarkable. And there goes the final whistle. The championship presentation is all that is left. The League Championship trophy awaiting the hands of Terry Butcher, the Rangers captain. And there is a presentation by Ian Gillespie, president of the Scottish League. A very proud Rangers captain. The normal posing for the photographers. And there it is. He's worked long and hard for that with the rest of his players. I don't know what that T-shirt he's got on. Premier League champions, that's what it is. Well, there's Graham Souness. The gentleman has been with the club a long time. Worked hard with them, with Walter Smith, Peter McCloy. And still he goes right. I think Terry Butcher thoroughly enjoys this. Mike Butcher, the English connection, just recognise it now. He's learned his Scottish, Highland Scottish.
Possibly I was wrong in making comparisons with the teams I played in before I came here, and I felt then that we weren't going to be good enough. And then when we got started in the season, I still felt we're a good bit short. And as we progressed, we got better and better as the season went on. I felt we got stronger. I felt we became more and more professional in our approach to games. But now we've got the biggest problem, a nice problem. Now we have to follow on from that.
And I'll give you a toast. Rangers Football Club, Premier League winners 1986-87.
These prizes reflect the winning of the imaginations of over 1 million people who came to Ibrox in the season. In winning this league championship trophy, Rangers transformed the entire landscape of Scottish football. It will never be the same again.